everyone. In this video, we'll go ahead and talk about sales tax and how to activate it. So first of all, some countries call sales tax something else. So we created a label here that if you don't want to call it sales tax, you could switch it to something else, save it, and it will replace that in report the sales tax for the new label in all the reports and on the front end of the website, so when customers are booking they don't see sales tax but whatever you call it. So that's the first thing that I would like to make sure that you do know. So if you do not have sales tax in your country but it's something else, you could switch that here. Now if you want to enable sales tax and you collect sales tax in one city or all of your cities, states, whatever it may be, you could do so. So you could click enable, and now you have two choices. You could either use Taxify, which is used in the US and possibly Canada by now, and flat is manual taxation. So if you don't, if you're out of those countries, we do not have an API with a different third party as of yet, since we could not find a great one as Taxify. But if you do have any recommendations, you could let us know, and we'll work on that. So you could use flat, or if you don't want to pay Taxify for their subscription, you could use flat overall in US as well, and in any country. So if you're using flat, all you have to do is basically click this option, and you want to set different tax for different location. If you have one location, then no. If you have multiple locations, then you would put yes, okay? And if you put no, then you just place in 10%, and this is what will be taxed everywhere. Okay, and I'll show you how that looks like at the end. Now, if you do use Taxify, all you have to do is click Taxify and grab the API. So when you're inside Taxify and you create an account, you have to go under Manage Add-ons and click on Taxify API here. Okay, and now you'll go ahead and get your API key. So now you have your API key, you'll go back and you'll click save, and now basically it will do all everything on its own. So you don't have to set your own tax rates. Everything is done on its own. And what's cool about Taxify is that they even file that tax with the current state that you're filing tax with. So you don't have to literally do anything, and you could pay them extra to do that. Now to finish setting everything up, you'll want to make sure that we go under filings, okay? And this is, or actually it was under tax lookup possibly. Hang on a second, let's go ahead and figure this out first. So filing info. Okay, there it is. Okay, so now you will want to go under filing info, and now here is where you will add your state. So that will be wherever your location may be. So here for this account, we have New York as the location, I believe. So let's double check. So locations, and believe we have, okay, so we have two. We have, both of them are in New York. So now you'll want to add your state state from New York. Okay, so New York, and we'll go ahead and click on save. Now here you will want to fill in the rest. So when is this is if you're allowing them to file on your behalf. So if they're not filing anything, you don't have to put anything in here. So right here we'll put in I don't need this, and here you could put in your sales tax license if you have one. If not, then that's okay, because this is for them, for their filing purposes. Now once you have this, you'll want to go to your locations, and then under New York right here, do you wish to exempt sales tax for this location? Make sure it's no. So if it's placed as yes, then this location will be excluded from collecting sales tax, and if not, then it will be collecting sales tax. So now if we go under here and we'll go ahead and enter a New York zip code, now it's collecting sales tax from New York, and which is at that 8.88% of what New York charges. Okay, and it's very accurate. Now we're switching to this location. now you can go ahead and charge sales tax for this actual store location. And that's if you have store locations. So now if you're creating more locations, you could add on as many as you'd like for New York. Or now if you have a different state, now you have to add under here, add a new state to make sure that it's being collected. And let's go ahead and run through that real quick. So we're under locations here, and we'll go ahead and let's say add a new one, or better yet, we'll go ahead and edit the other one if we still can, since there's no bookings yet in the system. It should let us add a location. So we'll go back to locations, and we'll go under this one right here and try excluding it, so you can see how that looks like. So if we exclude this and update it, now for that specific city, we will not be getting charged. So as you can see, we typed in the zip code, and now it's being excluded. So now the only sales tax that's being collected is on this location. So this is very straightforward. Now, if you want them to file on your behalf, since it is a little bit of an extra cost on for this subscription, I believe it's like could be like $20 per city a month for them to file it for you. So you can go ahead and see how often do you want them to file. You'll get a number from the state that you'll have to place in here, and then do you e-file yes or no, and you could go ahead and look through their API or ask them questions as well if you need setting this up properly as well. Okay, but from on our end, this is very straightforward. We're pretty much done here. And all that sales tax, if you want to manually track it, you could also run everything from the report. So if you go under the reports, you'll be able to see how much sales tax has been collected from here, and it's 100% accurate. So if there's any refunds, it will refund the sales tax here, and do all that stuff. So even if you're not using Taxify here, you can go ahead and control everything from here. So if you're using Taxify, they will track all of your sales tax in here per location, and so will we. So if you want to run it per location, you could do that here by the filter, and then you'll be able to see how much sales tax you collect. Okay, and that's through Taxify. Now if you're doing it on your own with the flat tax option, then Taxify does not come into play. And what happens is you click on flat, and then you could go ahead and enter how much it is getting charged. So if you put 8.88%, so now we'll go ahead and have this right there. And now every time something you're booking, now that is coming into effect. So now this one we excluded, so this is the only one that we have right now. So we could change it to, let's say, we could do 10%, or let's do all of the locations that we have. So as you can see, we have multiple locations now, and we'll do 10% for this one, and we'll do 5% for that one. Okay, and now when you go back to those, you will be able to see that the different rates are being charged. Okay, and this one we're excluding again, so you have to go back to the locations and make sure that that's disabled, or put it as no, so it's not excluded. And once you update it, now we could go back here and check the sales tax. So now this one is getting charged 5%, okay, and this one is getting charged 10%. So you have your two different tax rates that are set up, and now Taxify does not come into play for you to collect the sales tax. It's already collected here for you. You could go to reports, and then once you are in the reports, in the revenue reports, you could run that per location, and then you could file whatever the sales tax is with that current state or city or whatever it may be. Okay, and there's also another option that we have, that if you are making a booking and you want to exclude sales tax from being charged for that specific booking, you could do so. So on top of excluding it per location, if there's a client that, let's say, is not being charged for sales tax because they are exempt from sales tax by the state, or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and exempt sales tax, which will remove it, and it will not charge the client the sales tax, and it won't report anything for Taxify if you're using Taxify or anything like that, so that it is accurate and that it's always up to date. So it's up to you if you want to use Flat or Taxify. Um, we here at King of Maids use Taxify because it's always updated. They take care of everything. It's not a big fee, but it's completely up to you. You could use Flat, you could use Taxify, but overall that's pretty much it with sales tax. Very straightforward. Hope the video cleared everything up, and that's pretty much it. Take care, you guys.